Hey guys, Ryan Hoffman here at Wholesale Capital Corporation, your direct mortgage lender, doing mortgages for new home purchase, investment property purchases, refinance of existing mortgages, and reverse mortgages. I gave this presentation today at my BNI chapter, and I thought it was a good idea. Since I already had the presentation, I just gave the presentation. Might as well do the presentation one more again and record it for you. So here we go. This presentation is on reverse mortgages to help you to understand a little bit about the process and what they are, because there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about what reverse mortgages are. So that being said, I'm Ryan Hoffman. Let's jump right into it. Here's what we're going to cover in this presentation. Who I am, who Wholesale Capital is, what is a reverse mortgage, and what is not a reverse mortgage to debunk some of the myths, who can get a reverse mortgage, and how do I refer Ryan Hoffman. This is specifically for those who are, that was done specifically for BNI because we want to, we are encouraged to refer one another, and part of referring one another is teaching each other how to refer us best. So there you go. All right, so let's start off with easy stuff. Ryan Hoffman. So whenever there's anything that is remotely technical, like financials, super complex financial instruments, and things that people are generally afraid of because they feel like you're being taken advantage of, the more complex something is. Reverse mortgages are a big area like that. So I always like to start off by making sure that people know when they refer me that they know a little bit more about me as a person, as opposed to feeling like they need to know all the legalities of a reverse mortgage. So that being said, I'm a second generation loan officer. My family has been in the mortgage industry for over 30 years. And what's important about that is that my father has been through ups and downs. When we went through the crash, he actually did about 3 years without taking a paycheck in order to keep our company open and keep people employed. He didn't need to stay open. He could have just as easily walked away and lived off his investments. Just like right now, he's in a position where he doesn't need to, he could just, decide to close down. He doesn't have to work anymore. He works because he loves what he does, and he loves to take care of the families that are working for us. That being said, working for him. That being said, that's the model I've grown up with, is to make sure that no matter what we do, we are taking care of those around us, both clients and our staff and our team. That being said, other things about me, I'm a Christian, number one, above all other things. So that informs everything I do. I always say it's really important for you to understand that no matter what, whether I have a direct boss or not, my boss, I'm always under the authority of God, and that no matter what I do, whether it's something that is legal or not, make sure that all my actions line up with what God would want me to do. There you go. Autism, emotional outcome, and asking better questions. So if you don't know already, my son, Nolan here, my son is actually on the spectrum. He has autism, and part of the reasons why we moved from SoCal to NorCal is to make sure we got him the best treatment possible, because UC Davis has the best treatment options of anywhere in basically the country. So that being said, that's the reason why we moved up here. But to give you an idea, a lot of the charity stuff I'm involved with, and a lot of the things that I push, is on the both faith-based and on autism research and things like that. We also do a lot of charity with Veterans Affairs. Emotional outcome. One of the things that's most important to us in how we do business is to make sure that we are considering the emotional result and emotional outcome of any transaction or business we do, whether it be how our team feels, whether it be how our agents or our clients or our operational staff. If we close a transaction, we close on time, we close on budget, and everything is done, on paper by the book, but our clients are stressed out and they're pissed off and they feel like they got taken advantage of, even if they didn't. This is something that we make sure that we know that if they're pissed off and they're in a bad place afterward, we failed. We need to work from the end, getting that result, and work backwards from there to build a really strong experience. So that way we know we're going to get the result we want at the end, which will lead to referrals for everybody, which is great. And asking better questions. This is more of my life motto, is that the quality of your life is a direct reflection of the quality of the questions you ask yourself and others on a daily basis. So when things are going bad, we can say, boo-hoo, why is this happening to me? Or we can say, how is this going to be used by God to benefit him? How are we going to use this for a greater good? What am I learning through this experience? More of a philosophy of how we go about our day to day. So something that gives you a little idea about who I am as an individual. That being said, our company, Wholesale Capital, was incorporated in 1992, established as a direct lender, meaning that we do our own underwriting and we sell direct. In 1998, we became known as a problem-solving lender because we would do the really creative files that nobody else would touch. And even though everybody else said no, we made sure that we would work harder and longer on a situation to find a way to get a loan done. So that's what we do. And I mentioned about the ups and downs, how my father had survived the crash by basically not taking any income from the company in order to keep it open and keep families fed. So we've been through the ups and downs, and the good companies survive. What is a reverse mortgage? So reverse mortgage is a standard mortgage that you are not required to make a mortgage payment. You can make a mortgage payment if you want, but you're not required to. You can take this kind of loan in multiple different ways. You can do a lump sum, which is just you do the loan and you get one chunk of money right up front. That's one option. Number two, you can get 10-year payments, meaning that the payments will continue every month for the rest of your life. Or you can do line of credit, which means that you've got basically think of like a home equity line of credit. You have access to that line of credit, but with a reverse mortgage line of credit, no matter what the value of the house is, no matter what the economy does, that reverse mortgage line of credit cannot be closed. It will always be there, even if it's upside down in value. Got to stay there. It's government insured, so there's a lot of protections on this kind of loan, which we'll talk about in a minute. And it can be used to either refinance a home or to purchase a home. The basic rule of thumb, which we'll talk about, is about 50% equity or 50% down if you're doing a purchase, or you need to have around 50% for your to do a refinance using a reverse mortgage. Keep in mind, there's a whole bunch of little rules. We'll walk through those on a one-to-one basis, but it's based on actuary tables. The older you are, the shorter amount based on statistics that you're expected to live, and thus that's how they do the math of how much money you can access. Usually starts around 50% though. What a reverse mortgage is not. I love including this image because there is an actual documented fear called anatidophobia, which is the fear that somewhere ducks are watching you. You can tell there's a lot of unfounded fears and fears that don't make sense. Fears of reverse mortgages are one of those things where it probably doesn't make sense to be afraid of them. There are so many protections now, especially after about 2014 when all the regulations were really maxed out, that a lot of the things that were bad about the reverse mortgages don't exist anymore. So that being said, banks do not get your home. It's a regular mortgage. So if you borrow $100,000 and the house is worth $300,000, you didn't give away the house. You have a loan of $100,000 against the house. There you go. You continue to own it the same way you'd own any house that has a mortgage on it, the same way. You can't outlive a reverse mortgage. So no matter what, reverse mortgages, if you are set up with a maximum age of 150, if you outlive it, you have to be older than 150. So there you go. And even then, I don't think they could do anything. That'd be kind of amazing, actually. You can't outlive it. Even if the value of the house, if your loan balance is going up over time, and the value of the house plummets, if there's some kind of major crash, doesn't matter. There's insurances in place to make sure that these mortgages will always be there and they cannot foreclose, cancel it, or do anything. And also, this also leads to non-recourse. Non-recourse means that your heirs cannot be obligated on a debt if the house is worth less than what the balance of the mortgage is. They get a chance to buy it at 95% of whatever the appraised value is at the time of your passing. So that being said, if you owe $400,000, the house is appraised at $300,000 at the time of your passing. Your heirs have 6 months to refinance that house at 95% of $300,000. Even though they owe more, doesn't matter. They get the house at the lower amount, which is great. Or if they decide they don't want to deal with the house, they don't want it, they just want to let the bank take it, they can do that, and the bank takes a loss. All good. Reverse mortgages are not expensive. Now, keep in mind, for a short-term chunk of money, yes, it is expensive. But if you are using it for a long-term, sustainable way to fund retirement or to control your expenses during your retirement years, it is an awesome product, and there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. Line of credit cannot be canceled. We mentioned this before. A reverse mortgage has a line of credit option, which what's different from a standard home equity line of credit is that it can never be canceled. If your line of credit is $200,000 and the house value plummets, a standard HELOC they'll cut it or they'll close it and they'll cancel it right away, and you don't have any control over that. But with the reverse mortgage, it doesn't matter. It has to stay open, and it also will grow according to the terms of the loan, in terms of the maximum amount you can borrow, which is great. Talk about that in a whole nother video. Who can get a reverse mortgage? Have to be 62, 61 and a half technically. You need to live in the house, or it could be the parents of friends. So think of it like this. If you have a family member, the parents can't live on their own anymore, and they're gonna want to live with their kids. A great option for them is for the parents to use a large down payment, do a reverse mortgage to buy a house, and then everybody move in and take care of everything all together. It's a great tool, and we can look at that on a one-to-one basis. That's something we talked about as part of my BNI presentation today. The basic numbers are 50% equity. Basic ways of referring. So if you have somebody you know who might be a good fit for something like this, you can say, hey, have you guys ever looked into reverse mortgage? They may respond with something like, oh yeah, I'm definitely not, or oh yeah, I've heard they're no good, or no, I haven't. Then you can say, there's been a lot of myths about reverse mortgages over the last few years, but they've actually changed a lot, especially since 2014. I know a really good lender. His name's Ryan. I can have him talk to you and see if he can answer any questions and see if it actually would make sense for you. Based on what I know, it's a home run for certain people, and it sounds like it would be for you. So it's worth a phone call. Can I have Ryan give you a call? Bam. And there you go. You're all set. Okay, that's the presentation. If there's any questions you have on reverse mortgages, you want to run your specific scenario, give me a call. Numbers here on the screen, whether you're in Northern California or Southern California, please give me a call. I can also do loans in Arizona and soon to be Nevada. So I look forward to working with you guys. And if you have any questions, give me a buzz and have a great day. Bye-bye.